Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Nancy Drew Season 3, the finale. So, just like I said, I've been boycotting Season 3. Just like I said, I was not going to watch it, but I will watch the finale and talk about it. And here I am, talking about it. I'm gonna assume there are now zombies in this show because of the ending. Because I have boycotted this season, I really don't know much of anything that happened, but I can get the gist from what I saw. Um, One thing I've been noticing on Twitter is like the writers of Nancy Drew have been pretty much begging for like a season 4 renewal. Um, Basically, every show on the CW is in a tight spot right now, except for The Flash, because Grant is possibly signing a new deal for The Flash for season 9. So, with the CW getting bought out and everything, because they're not making no money, a lot of shows are up in the air. If they're not making no money and everything, what's the point of keeping them? If the ratings ain't good, what's the point of keeping them? I mean, look at Naomi. Her ratings have dropped big time in the third episode. It is a very boring show. So the writers of Nancy Drew, they basically been begging for like a season 4 renewal, and now they got the fans doing the same thing online. However, I used to be a huge fan of this show. I thought season 1 was amazing with the whole ghost and stuff like that, and the murder mysteries of 2 different murder mysteries. Then in season 2, they kind of lost me just a little with the whole ghost falling in love with Best thing being inside George's body. Um, the Scooby Doo Monster of the Week, 'cause it was more like, okay, season 1 had more like demonic looking ghost, and season 2 had more like monstrous looking, demon looking thing kind of. And so they were still kind of ghost like, so I was like, okay, whatever. But the whole Bess and the Ghost and George lovey dovey thing, that was weird. Um, they said they were gonna kill somebody off in the season premiere of season 2, and they killed George, only to bring him back in that same episode to get possessed by a ghost. So they didn't live up to that. And Ace is still boring and stuff. But it was season 2 was still interesting, nevertheless. Then you get into season 3. And that's when I just couldn't take it no more. When they introduced witches at the end of season 2. I'm just like, this is a little bit of a stretch. And I didn't like the Tempest actress that they cast. But thank God they recast her towards the middle of the season. Because I could not take that other actress no more. But now, because of the end of season 3, it looks like there are now zombies in this show. I don't know where this show is headed and what kind of direction. But the fact that season 3 has such low ratings and they're begging online to get a renewal, it's like I said before, I don't really. Okay, if this show gets canceled, it's because of season 3. But it has a huge fan base, so it might get renewed. Personally, for me, even though I'm no longer watching it, I still wanted to get renewed because at some point it's going to get better again. And the cast seems really cool. You know what I'm saying? They don't seem like terrible people at all. So I don't want them losing their jobs and everything. However, if this show gets canceled, it's those writers' fault. But anyways, from what I can gather, what happened in this season finale, Tempest has a new face and body. It's one of her daughters or something like that. I don't know why she changed bodies, but she did. So basically, throughout this whole season, the whole ice killer person thing was her the whole time. They gave us a little bit of a misdirection in the first episode, like it kind of seemed like her, but then it kind of didn't. And then they captured that one dude who said he was, and so it was a little bit of a red herring misdirection. That's fine. I like that. Misdirections are really good for dramas and stuff. So basically, Tempest wants to like kill a bunch of people. She wants to do something. Some weird kind of spell where she floods the whole city with a tsunami. What in the world? How did this show go from solving crimes about like people dying and ghosts and being haunted and to now having to save the city from a tsunami? This is too too much of a stretch. I mean, come on, they're running out of ideas here. And so I guess all season they've been looking for like a weapon to kill Tempest, and she's like a 200-year-old witch that's basically immortal by taking the life forces of other people and her descendants. They find a hatchet, and so like some stuff happens, and basically it's like Nancy squaring off with Tempest, and she kills her at something called the Veil, because they're gonna the Veil is like the thing between like the our world and whatever kind of world Tempest is about to unleash, right? And she kills her. I was shocked, but I was happy. I'm like, thank God, no more witches. But then something happened where Ryan ends up dying. I'm like, oh my God. They actually went there. They had the balls to actually go there. I was shocked because they killed George in the premiere of the second season, only to bring him back a minute later. And George had so many near-death experiences, and they never pulled that trigger, which I'll be mad if they did because I like George. Ace, I could care less. And so I was like, holy crap, they went there. But then something seemed kind of weird. The atmosphere of the show seemed weird after that. I'm just like, wait a minute. Is she in a nightmare dream state? I think she might be. But anyway, I kept watching to see what was going on. All of her friends, things they wanted to do, all of a sudden they decided not to do. George wanted to go into law school, decided not to do it. Bess wanted to do something, some type of witch coven. She decided not to. Nick was supposed to go somewhere like in Florida to be with his parents, but he decides not to. George and what's his name? Nick were supposed to get married, called it off, but they're still friends. That actually happened a couple episodes ago. I know that because, okay, remember I said I was boycotting it? Well, I was. But this actress I like was supposed to be on the show. She's been in it before, but she always has a small role. So I'm like, cool, I guess I'll watch it just for her. It was some weird episode where Ace was in some kind of like Nexus, other dimensional type world. I guess they had to give him something to do. And so I'm like, okay, where is this actress I like? Like, where is she? And then she comes up in a cameo. She basically walks past the camera and talks. I'm like, that's it? A stinking cameo? I watched 20, 30 something minutes of the show and screw that. I turned it off. I turned it off. And I knew Tempest had a different body at that time. And I knew Nick and George were broken up. I don't know how or why they broken up, but I'm going to go online and just read about it because I refuse to watch the third season. So then her and Ace finally decide, oh, we love each other. And then they start making out and they do it. I'm just like, nah, man. I don't like the idea of her and Ace being together. I want her and Nate to get back together and have a love triangle between him and George and everything. Also, have you ever noticed Nancy's a bit of a player and stuff? Like, when she was dating Nick, she started flirting with that other guy and had like an attraction to him, which caused them to break up. Then, the first season, I think she dreamt she was making out with Ace, and then in the second season, she dreamt again she was making out with Ace, only to have an attraction to one of the Bobbsey twin, the male one, only for him to like get pissy with her and they break up. Then in this season, she had an attraction to that one detective cop, still while like liking Ace and everything. It's just, she does that a lot. And so after making out and doing it, they're like driving and boom, they get into a huge car accident. I'm like, man, they are really up in the ante on who they're killing in this season. They got rid of Ace. But then all of a sudden, Tempest shows up. And I was like, ah, crap, it was a dream sequence and everything. And so Tempest basically tells her, like, oh, you know, this is only like a fake possible future type thing. And, you know, we're still at the Veil. And you see what happened to your life. If you kill me, all this bad stuff is going to happen to your friend. So you better keep me alive. Also, I play some type of like curse thing on you and Ace. That way, if you two ever fall in love, something bad will happen and he'll die. And so Nancy's back at the Veil and she contemplates and she doesn't kill what's her face. Because of that, the Veil gets open And boom, Armageddon happens. The tsunami's coming around. This one man's getting attacked by the water. Everybody's gonna die. The way they filmed that was actually pretty ingenious, in my opinion. The cinematography was great. Nick was trying to get everybody out the streets. Everybody was panicked. This is during the you know what pandemic. So the fact they had that many people on the streets was like amazing and stuff. Because a lot of these shows, they're kind of empty, in case you haven't noticed, especially these CW shows. Like Batwoman. There's like nobody in the streets or in the hospitals or in the buildings and stuff. I mean, I get why. Safety first, you know what I'm saying? And so the way they filmed that was amazing. I like that. And so, like, then Nancy decides, you know what, I'm just going to kill her anyway. I ain't going to kill all the people in town. So she basically like stabs her in the back with the hatchet and kills what's her face. The veil stops, the water stops, and everybody's safe. I'm like, really? You couldn't pull a punch and have like the thing flood the streets? You know what I'm saying? Like, but no. Nobody got hurt, nobody drowned, nobody nothing. So they still refuse to pull that proverbial trigger and get ballsy with their show. So then all that bad stuff that happened in the dream where everybody decided not gonna do this and that, they decide they're gonna do it. George is now gonna go to law school. Nick is gonna go to Florida a month from now, but his parents came to see him. Bess is gonna do that dumb thing with the witches and everything. So I guess they're still gonna have magic in this show. And Ace, him and Nancy have finally decided, oh, let's fall in love. They're about to kiss, but then she sees something crack, like some glass, and she realizes crap. That curse thing is still on her. So she basically breaks Ace's heart, talking about she doesn't want to be with him. She played him, this and that, and she leaves, and it's one of the most touching, heartbreaking things ever. I love when the Nancy actress gets very raw with her emotions. That's where she shines at the most, when she's shouting at people, when she cries, and all this other stuff. It was great and stuff. And so she's upset because now she can't be with the guy I guess she loves after one season. She ain't feel like I just want her and Nick to get back there. That's her true love right there, man. And so then her and her dad, they set up this like detective agency. Oh, and Ryan's still alive. So they set up the detective agency. I'm just kind of like, I guess it's okay. She has a detective agency. It's kind of pointless because people just go to the claw and like ask for her help. But hey, whatever. At least it's kind of neat, you know what I'm saying? Since everybody's going in separate ways. If they're going in separate ways, then they probably won't be at the claw that much. But then she gets a weird call from a man who distorted his voice, using like a voice changer. He said, meet him in the graveyard and don't bring the cops and nobody else. She goes there and literally, she's all like, where are the dead bodies at? Everybody at that grave has been dug up. Either dug up or they crawled out, which makes me now believe that there are now going to be zombies in this show. Good Lord, do they really need zombies? I mean, what's next? Aliens and stuff? All in all, if I had to rate this, suspense-wise, okay, it was good. Red herring trickery, that was good too. With the whole Tempest faking out and everything, that was good. However, it just didn't make no sense. Why does she want to kill people? Why is there a giant tsunami coming? Why does Nancy Drew have to save the entire city like a hero now? And it's basically what she has become, a superhero and stuff. And it's just like, I just feel like it was unnecessary. This show went in such a bizarre direction and it's going to keep going even more bizarre. And it's kind of like, what happened to some of the good plot threads from season 2? Like, what about Everett and everything? And him killing all them people and them dead, like the 14 people he killed and his brother. He's in jail and like, that's it. Like, he doesn't even know that's his, well, he knows that's his granddaughter, I think. Not 100% sure, but that could have been something cool. What about that secret organization? I forget their name. The one who killed her grandmother, for crying out loud. Did they just like forget about that? Now, the organization did fight with the witches in white. which is people Tempest was with. So since that got brought up, maybe they showed back up in the third season. I don't know. Um, but what happened to that? I mean, it was a secret organization for crying out loud. That could have been something very interesting. And I don't know, man. It's just this show has just gotten weird. Like it's unrealistic. It still has its fans. I saw people online talking about, "Oh my God, the finale was so great," and renew it for a fourth season. My life will be over if you don't renew. And I'm just like, it's not that great no more, people. Like, just be honest with yourself. This show has jumped the shark big time. Ghost was okay. Demonic ghosts, demon looking things were okay. But once they went to the whole witch territory, that just became unrealistic. And now the zombie thing, I just don't know. I just don't know. Now they would have did probably like say aliens came down and kidnapped people and started killing people. That might have been interesting, but it still would have been weird. But at least it'd been more interesting. They could tie it into like the Tom Swift thing, which is still coming out apparently. Um, but it's just I don't know. It's just this show just isn't that great no more in my opinion. And I want it to be great because I've been rewatching the first season all this month, and I'm just having a blast rewatching the first season. And it's so strange how far this show has become because it's trying to be like supernatural and charmed, which I don't know why it is, and I don't know why people are so hung over it changing to that direction. Because y'all know it didn't used to be like that and stuff. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.